Hey guys, welcome back to Paracord Planet. Today I'm going to show you how to make letter keychains using the box knot. This is a pretty popular project to do with plastic lacing, but we're going to be doing it with Paracord today. So for colors, I've got green and Moonstruck, kind of our brand colors. We're going to be making the letter P for Paracord Planet, since L for Luke just isn't that exciting with two straight lines. In addition to the paracord, we just need a keychain or something to attach it to, and a fid for lacing the cord through some tight places. With that, let's dive in. So the chord requirements for this are a little bit tricky because it depends on which letter you're making. My best estimate is 1 foot of cord per inch of weave, just like the Cobra. Since I'm using two colors, it's going to be half a foot of each color. For the letter I'm making today, I need about 7 to 8 inches of finished weave. So I'm using 8 feet of paracord, 4 in each color. So then in one end of your cord, you should have 2 ends of each color. And on the other end, where we're going to be starting, are 2 cords folded in half. We're going to cross those over each other in kind of a perpendicular pattern. So I'm going to toss one end up here. So we have a cross like that. And then whatever color is on the bottom, in this case it's the blue or Moonstruck, I'm going to cross that over the top in a loop like this. Then the other one, we're going to loop across the other direction. So now we should have 2 parallel blue stripes across the top with our green going right through the middle. While holding all that in place, we're going to take one of our green cords, and with this cord running out the bottom, we want to go over the top of that cord and underneath the next one. So over the top of here, and then underneath right through here. That's going to be our bottom stripe of green. Just like that. And this other one is going to go across the top. Again, right over, so like that. Right over the first cord to be anchored underneath the second one. Once we're done, it should look like this, kind of a hashtag pattern or pound sign. Then we're going to pull all of our ends tight. Just kind of slowly pulling on each one. And when it's tightened down, it should look about like this. And that's the pattern that we're going to be repeating for the whole process. First, we're just going to make a straight line. We're going to keep on building knots on top of this one. It's just going to be built out this way. And then once we get to a corner, I'll show you how to tackle that. So now I'll continue with that pattern. I'm going to start with blue again, although it doesn't really matter which cord you start with. I could start with green if I wanted. Make those 2 parallel lines. And then with this green cord going over the first, under the second, we just want to make sure that since we grabbed the top stripe of green, that we're going kind of across the top again. We don't want to get those mixed up. So pull that one tight, take our other green, find my end again, and go over that first cord, underneath the second loop. And then once we have all of our cords going the right direction, we can tighten that down slowly, right on top of that first knot. This is really a sinnet, a crown sinnet, but with 4 cords, it's often called a box knot. So now we're just going to keep on going with that pattern, building knots on top of each other until we have a straight line that's a couple inches long. All right, so I've got 3.5 inches here, and that's tall enough for the vertical portion of my capital P. And now we've got to go out at a right angle for the rest of it. So we kind of have to get these cords over on this side down to here so that we can begin making our box knot right up here. So I'm going to first take this green cord, and we'll add our fid on at this point. Then once we have our fid on, we'll just bring it through this loop right here. Pull that cord through. And then I'm going to bring it through this blue loop so that it comes back out this side. and just pull all the slack through as much as you can so it's kind of hidden down underneath, and keep everything tight. So now we've got our blue cord and our green cord on the top that were there just naturally. We've moved this green one down to this corner. Now we want to move this blue cord down to this corner. So we'll switch out our fid for that cord. Now to bring that down there, I'm going to thread it right through the middle here, I think is going to be the cleanest. To come out down here. Just stab it right through the middle. Pull all of it through. Make sure you get the twists out. There we go, that's how it looks in the back. Come out down here. And then just so that is down in the corner, kind of where we want it, I'm going to thread it through this one as well. So it looks messy on this side, but that's okay because that's getting covered up. What we want to pay attention to is it looks neat on the sides and the back. So now that we have our colors in opposite corners, we're ready to begin the box knot going this direction. So now on this side, I'm going to start with the blue. It's just going to be easier to explain that way for this one. We'll make our loops like normal, except they'll be going this way this time. And then we'll thread our green through. You want to make sure the green are going horizontal on this one, and you'll see why in just a second. Green over and through. So now when we tighten it down, it should land right at the corner like that. And it was important that our green were going horizontal because then it's going to keep the same color on the face of our letter the whole way around. So now we're just going to continue on, making more box knots right on top of this. And the curves are really pretty easy to do. As we're going, we just can pull this one not quite as tight, so there's a little bit more slack to go around the outside of the curve, and pull this one extra tight. The greens will just do like normal. But even without any difference in tightening, we can pretty much just bend that into the shape of the P without modifying anything. We've got the straight part here that we just tightened down normally. It bends easily enough to fit into the shape that we'll need for that P. So we'll keep on going with that for a couple inches and then bend it around and anchor it in place. All right, this is long enough to finish off our P. We're just gonna bend it right around and anchor it right there. And I didn't find any flawless way to do this where your ends are completely hidden. If you have a better way, definitely let us know in the comments. But what we're gonna do with this is, I'll take this first top green cord right now, put our fid back on, and right where I want that to go through, right there, I'm just going to thread it through both of these stripes. So just right through like that. And that's a tight fit. There we go. Get all our twists out. And don't pull that one super tight yet, since that's going to undo our last knot. You just kind of want to gently put that into place. And I'm not going to cut this end yet either. We're just going to leave that until we have all of our ends anchored and can pull them all tight. So next I'm going to do the blue on this side. And that one I'm just going to poke right through the middle of our weave. So going down wherever it meets up there, just going to poke it all the way through. And that way we don't have any blue stripe showing over our green that we want on the sides. Make things as invisible as possible here. All right, so now since that one loosened, I want to tighten that knot on this side before pulling the slack through. There we go. It's looking pretty good so far. Now we'll flip it over and do pretty much the same thing on the other side. So this screen, I'm just going to come up through those stripes right there. And it kind of fills in the pattern. So we'll transfer our fid right through here. There we go. And then our blue, just going to stab that through the middle again. And then before we cut our ends, just make sure all those cords are tight. And we'll just have the melt marks on one little section of our P so that most of it looks pretty good. So now since all those are pulled tight, I can clip my ends and melt them in place. And there we go. Not perfect, but from the front it looks pretty good. Now the last step is just to add that keychain on. If you don't have a split ring and you're using more like a fixed clip or something like that, you want to just incorporate that into the weave before you're done. But we can add this one afterwards easily enough. There we go. And our keychain is done. So there's our finished letter P. I hope you guys enjoyed this one and will try it for yourselves. As always, we'll put links to the stuff that we used in the video, so the paracord, the keychain, and also the fid. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.